Good.
Erik, you guys were a much different team last year at this point than you are now. Do you think that having depth gives you any kind of more appreciation for where you are now and the things you're able to do now that you have more players on the team?
I would say so. I mean, practices are more competitive. No one's spot or no one's playing time is guaranteed. So, it kind of makes them work even harder to, earn that playing time instead of playing time just given to them because of lack of depth. And I think all those, when you put all those together, it creates a greater appreciation and, allows us to do more things and, perform better.
Samaje has been on the hot seat for his free throw shooting, but I don't know that you have been yet. Can you just talk about your slow start this year and maybe, dating back to last season, what you've been trying to do to improve your shot there?
I went 2 for 2 last game. No, I'm kidding. But we shoot 100 a day, and I know Samaje shoots 100 a day. I mean, he makes one, if not the most, really high up there on the team. So I know he'll come around. I shoot 100 a day. I'm working on it every single day. I think it's more of a mental issue for me rather than kind of getting the practice reps in. But I think it'll come.
Justin, can you talk about playing Miami tomorrow? They, in the past, have posed some different challenges for you guys. You haven't played them for 2 years, but kind of what are your thoughts heading into that game?
Our thoughts going into the game is the same as we go to every game. We want to come out with an attack-first mentality, be ready from minute 1 to minute 40, be able to, execute our defensive system and what we hope to accomplish on the offensive end as well. But we know that our offense will be more easier with the success of our defense. The better we play defense, limit them to one shot. The more fluent our offensive flow. They look. So far, we went over personnel. We haven't really seen anything that they do specifically, but we've gone over personnel. So, we're still getting acquainted with those guys, and by tomorrow we'll be fully acquainted enough to go out there and be able to battle for 40 minutes.
How are you feeling about your game this year, coming off of the head injury? Able to get some minutes last game, but where do you think you are right now?
Oh, I'm all the way back. I'm fine. I'm just last game was kind of I wouldn't say a tester, but I was just kind of shaking off the cobwebs, and I feel like, of course, everybody feels like that they could have played better, but as long as it's a W in the win column, that's all that matters to me. So. I feel fine. I'm healthy. Been practicing full contact, 100% every day. So look to keep laying the pavement down for the rest of our season. So we'll be all right.
Can you talk about all the fouls were called? Actually, the last couple games there have been a lot of fouls called. Can you talk about that as a player? Do you feel like it's more, the defensive guys are kind of getting a tough shake right now, whether or not the offensive guys are kind of leaning in or driving it into you?
Yes, it's tough. It is tough just because of the physicality we got to play with. Just a year ago is way different than they're trying to call it this year. So. It's tough. It's definitely taking some, getting used to, and practice. Coaches put an emphasis on it. They're calling more fouls too. So, it's not like when we get in the game, it's oh man, it wasn't a foul. So we got to be able to show our hands and move our feet. They're trying to chop off the upper part of our body. So it's just more using your feet and cutting the guy off. With your feet and gaining back angles, and being able to be stronger than maybe a physically weaker person and use your upper body and getting that angle back. So. I don't feel like it's biased towards offensive player. I just feel like you have to be able to adjust. Basketball is a game of adjustments. Whether you're down or you're up, you have to be able to adjust to know how to keep the lead or get the lead. So it's just you have to be able to adjust. Of course, it's kind of in the beginning stages, but once conference play comes around, everybody be used to it.
For both of you guys, who do you think has really stood out so far in the first couple games that maybe has impressed you on the team?
I say James Farr. James has really stepped up. Okay, we kind of talked about it last week. You know, the role he's embraced and being able to fulfill that role has really helped our team a lot. He brings energy off the bench, and he's rebounding like none other right now. So I say James Farr. He's really stepped up and shown why he's a Xavier basketball player.
Chris, one of the questions I ask the guys is you normally start out with home games, obviously, but to have 5 to start the season here at Centos Center, what does that do? What kind of basis does that give your guys heading into the rest of the season?
I don't know. I mean, it's just a schedule. You know, we have to be the same team home or away. You know, it's a great thing to play in front of our fans. You know, I know that the student section is going to, have a lot of energy every single game. But the true test of our team, will come when we start to play, games on the road. And so that time's a little ways from now. So I don't necessarily worry about that. I just worry about getting better every single day. But, nothing's guaranteed, and we have to be at our best every single night that we play.
This is the first time you played Miami in 2 seasons, but I believe the end of the current contract. What do you hope for in the future with Miami?
Well, I'd like to continue to play them. I don't know if we're going to go up there, though, to be very honest. There aren't too many teams in our conference that play home and home series against, MAC schools. I think Temple's done it a little bit because that was a football contract, but, we have to do what's best for Xavier, and we'll continue to do that.
Traditionally, when you guys do play Miami, it's always a knockdown, drag-out kind of game, low scoring. They're 0-2, but do you anticipate that kind of game tomorrow night with them?
No, I don't think it'll be a low scoring affair. I think a couple factors. Number one, games and the way they've been officiated obviously is a big change this year. And then secondly, Coach Coles is not their coach anymore, and so they play a little bit differently, both on offense and defense. Coach Cooper is in a transitional period where he's trying to implement his system. They're more of an up and down type team. They have post players that will face you, shoot from the perimeter and drive you. And then on defense, they like to play both zone and man. So that's a difference for me as a coach. Our players aren't necessarily very familiar with Miami just simply because, like Shannon mentioned, we haven't played them, in a few years.
Reggie Johnson is leading the MAC in scoring and has had 2 really good games so far. How much is, playing good defense on him integral to what you want to do against them? Well,
it's a big challenge. Reggie's a guy that really knows how to play. He's got a full arsenal. He can shoot the floater. He's great with the hesitation dribble. He's shooting the ball really well from the 3-point line. He's playing with a lot of confidence. He's a big challenge and one that our perimeter players are going to have to be very well aware of tomorrow night.
You've mentioned, even on your Twitter account, about the student section here at X and how special it's been recently. How much has it changed in your time from student athlete here to now the head coach, kind of the way the game day atmosphere here feels here at X?
Well, the venue is much different from when I played, but it just seems like our students are here in full force really, really early before the game. They set the tone. They razz the opponent. They get our guys, fired up. They're here, 90 minutes before the tip, and that says a lot about their commitment to our team. And it's a great feeling when you walk through that tunnel, and every chair is filled. And it doesn't take very long when you watch all the different basketball games on television to see that we have something special, because a lot of places there are a lot of empty seats.
Brandon had 2 really good games, or 3 good games to start the season, and Dee came back last game, and so it was easy to see how they sort of worked together, although Brandon did have some foul trouble. So do you have how do you envision them kind of playing with each other, or do you have a concrete plan of how they'll go forward?
I think they'll play very well off one another. Brandon's problems were self-inflicted. He fouled and couldn't get in a rhythm. And so, he didn't play nearly the amount of minutes that we would have liked, but, he was sort of handcuffed with the fouls. He's got to do a better job, playing defense without fouling, as do the rest of us. But he got off to a tough start, and, sometimes it happens when you're a freshman. Heck, sometimes it happens when you're a senior. But to be able to bounce back in the second half, I thought he did a pretty good job. and he's got to, just be that everyday guy for us. But they'll play very well together. They're two really good on-the-ball defenders. They can create for their teammates. They can get in the lane, and that's why we started them against Moorhead, because we felt like those two together were tough to match up with.
In November basketball, teams will be playing a lot of different lineups. Guys will be trying to figure out where they fit on the floor together. But at the same time, these are games that count towards your resume as the season
Right.
goes on. Is that a tough balance as a coach, trying to figure out a team identity, who you are, at the same time trying to beat some good teams on the schedule at the same time?
Well, I don't think our identity changes. Maybe our personnel may change from time to time, but it's there's an easy formula to get on the floor here at Xavier. Play hard, defend with a lot of energy, and rebound the ball, be unselfish on offense. And if you do that to the best of your ability, you'll earn minutes. So the identity of our team stays the same. Who fills those shoes in terms of creating that identity may be a little different. But we're a deeper team than we were a year ago, and that's a good thing.
Landon's supposed to be out 4 to 6 weeks. That was the estimate. Do you think it's he's ahead of schedule, or 6 weeks might be it?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit early to tell. I do know that his surgery went really well. He had minimal swelling. I think he's on a little bit faster pace maybe than Miles. So, again, when that projects him actually being out on game night, I don't know. But, I think it'd probably be closer to 4 than 6. But, again, there's still some rehab to determine that.